What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor of Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com, FightfulMMA.com. We are your leader in crossover coverage across all three of those, really. If you don't like one of the three or two of the three, we have ways you can filter that out on Fightful.com. I know some of you will be watching for the first time ever tonight. It's kind of a big night. There were a couple of really big stories on Fightful.com, which we will get into shortly before we talk about Monday Night Raw. But head over to Fightful.com. We have exclusives, interviews, photos, videos, podcasts, forums, anything you can ask for in a pro wrestling, MMA, or boxing website. And if we don't have it, tell us and we will get it. I am joined tonight by Alex Pawlowski. Alex, how's it going?
It's going. My old headphones that you see on many podcasts broke. I got some new ones. A little smaller around the ear. I'm not sure how that's going to affect my game tonight, but I'm working through it.
Well, your role here is simple. Let me tell you what your role is.
Yeah.
I've done podcasts with J.J. Dillon, with Matt Riddle, with Shane Helms, with Vince Russo. You're here to take all their finishers, and that's it.
That's right. That's all
That's
I'm here.
what you're doing here.
I'm putting over talent from 20 years ago. That's what I'm doing.
Check out my big sippy cup here.
It's nice.
Let me tell you, fellas, this was a lifesaver on this afternoon because I didn't go downstairs a whole lot. Let's go ahead and address it. As I told Alex off air, I'm not going to editorialize a lot about this, or really at all. I have a video up on the Enzo Amore story. Fightful.com broke a ton of the information in regards to the Enzo Amore rape allegations. It's as a reporter, if I get people from multiple sides saying you treated them fairly, and then I get people saying unfairly about the same people, and it comes from all sides, I get the feeling that I called it right down the middle. And ultimately, it's not my job to decide who did what. It's my job to get people and to go on the record and to report this type of stuff, and that's what we did. But Alex, your thoughts when you heard that Enzo Amore was being accused of a rape this afternoon?
With so many of the accusations have been happening, I guess, since like November when the Weinstein thing first broke and everything kind of followed suit after that. I was wondering when it was going to make its way into professional wrestling. And it looks like it has.
It did a while back with the Sean Orleans thing as well.
Yeah, yes, that's true. But I was talking about WWE and like really, really high profile on TV all the time thing. And I thought to myself, man, if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Enzo. I don't know why. Like, it's one of those things. Like from all the stuff you hear about him, like if 40% of it is true, dude, come on. You know what I mean? And not saying that this is true. All of that other stuff could be true, and this could be not. So that's the whole thing. Is that it's you have to look at it. At this point, we have no idea, but it doesn't look good.
I can tell you this is never a fun thing to cover. There are no winners in this situation, and a lot of people are like, well, she could make money. If she files a civil suit, she could. I have a lot of people asking me a lot of questions. She said that she spent 45 days in a mental hospital, then later said it was closer to 20. I have contacted that mental facility to see if they allow any phones there. She told us that she was able to use her roommates. People are wondering, why is she coming out with this now? She did file a police report in the days following the alleged incident. The Phoenix PD did confirm that to me. Enzo was in the area at the time that she claimed. What I can surmise, and this is just me, I would assume, based on the information I provided, that she spent some time with Enzo Amore. What happened beyond that, I don't know. That's for the authorities and perhaps a jury to decide. But you can get all the news over at Fightful.com. We have a big story on it, and that particular story is going to be updated. I'm not going to release a new article every few minutes and like put 100 words in there. That's not what we do at Fightful.com. We generally stick to the main page, the story. That way you can get all that information there. So please head over there. Also lost in all this, which is kind of a shame, we had an outstanding feature on Celeste Bonin that ran this morning, the former Caitlyn in WWE. Denny Burkholder, who works for CBS Sports, did just an unbelievable feature for us. He sat in on a training session with Caitlin Celeste Bonin and her trainer, Pablo Marquez, because a lot of people don't realize she never really went through training. She got pulled up to the main roster immediately, didn't learn the basics. You all may remember Pablo Marquez. He was an ECW regular in like 95, 96. Also, he was Tiger Ali Singh's manager as Babu back in the day, and he's been helping her out. We got a lot of quotes from him as well. It is a fantastic story. She goes into the day that she asked for her WWE release, her friendship with AJ Lee. It is a must read. It is over at FightfulWrestling.com. And the reason that I kind of push it up to a Monday release is because, I don't know if she's entering the Royal Rumble. I don't have any insight on that. When we asked her, she said she doesn't even know when the Royal Rumble is. But, that could be her, working. Wrestlers work, people, and that's what they do. But that feature is a must read, is the latest in our long form series. You all got to check that out. But on to Raw 25. Alex, I'm going to ask you as an all-encompassing thing, what do you think of Raw 25? It's a big night.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound promising early on.
It had some ups and downs. Let's say that. The ups were great. The downs were plentiful. So it's tough to say. Like, if somebody asked me, hey, you watched the 25th anniversary of Raw live, and they asked me that like 10 years from now, I'd be like, yeah, I think The Miz beat Roman for the Intercontinental title, and there was this great segment at the beginning where Vince got stunned by Stone Cold. That's all I can remember. And that's what I'll say. Because there's nothing else about this really meant anything. Oh, I will say at the end that Braun almost murdered Brock Lesnar.
He sure did. He sure did.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Guys, we do have the live chat and the super chat available over on YouTube. Check that out. If you don't already, we are available on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, I believe Spotify even. Also direct download at Fightful.com and FightfulPods.com. And we want your feedback. Register absolutely free at Fightful.com. Leave us some comments on the forums. We have AMA posts. You can talk anything from video games to sports to movies and TV, all the way to wrestling. All kinds of good stuff over there. And like I said, every single day you go to Fightful.com, you will see something there that you can't get at any other wrestling website, any other MMA website, or boxing website. Let's get into it. This pre-show happened, and it was mainly talking head stuff, Alex, but on occasion, they would pop up and they would have somebody like on the panel, like Eric Bischoff. They would show that the APA were there. Not a lot of stuff here. So let's go into this opening segment. And I really thought that this show peaked with this opening segment.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I give ratings to segments. Like I do my Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, post-pay-per-view ratings the morning after those air. I gave this segment a 10 out of 10. And as you know, this is how my ratings start. They start at a 5 and they either slide up or down. This slid way up, then broke through the wall. This was the perfect nostalgia segment, Alex.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, Steph and Shane decided to get along for one night only. So they come out and sing the praises of everybody, which I thought was a nice touch. They gave props to the people who work backstage and make Raw what it is on TV, because they don't even have, they don't have credits or anything. Like, you don't really know who these people are, but they came out and said thank you to them, thank you to the fans, but mostly thank you to our dad. It's really fun to see that many people that geeked singing at the top of their lungs, "No Chance in Hell." Like, that was fun. He shut it down to the ring, being Vince, but this whole thing led to them saying there was a GoFundMe account to get him a commemorative plaque, and which Steph deadpanned, "It's mahogany," and that pops me. That was great. You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, guys, if you're having trouble with the live chat or the super chat, just refresh the page. I've had some reports of that. Everything's fine over there. I loved this segment. Vince McMahon came out and he healed the crowd fantastically,
yep,
as he can do. he said the only thing plaque is on their teeth, and said that nobody helped him accomplish what he has. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to one of the biggest goddamn pops I have ever heard in my life, perhaps only rivaled by Jericho tonight.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon was even better here. He's like, listen, pal, I've got osteoporosis. My bones are brittle. I live in a retirement community. I'm old. But look at Shane. He's in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
He looks wonderful. And Stone Cold obliges him and kick wham stunner.
Yeah. Is Shane basically the same age that Vince was like 20 years ago? He's like a little younger?
No, he's a little bit younger. Yeah, he's about 4 or 5 years younger.
Like 4 or 5 years younger, but basically. So I think that's really funny that that Stone Cold keeps getting older and the McMahons stay the same age. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
That is fantastic.
So that I honestly feel like you could
I can't wait till Raw 50 when he stuns every single one of Triple H's daughters.
And all of Shane O'Mac's sons back to back, just all of them. And Pete Gas is going to be there for some reason. It's going to be great. But yeah, listen, you can have Stone Cold stun the McMahons as much as you want. I'm always going to pop for it.
So let's I'll address the question. Is Jason Jordan injured? Yeah, he's been hurt for a little while. This was just great. And then of course Vince and Austin hug, but then kick wham stunner. And Vince knew it was coming, like his character knew it was coming. Kevin Dunn zooms in on the stunner. Stop! Not tonight, Kevin. Hashtag WWE stop the zoom. But the best part, in my opinion, was Shane taking another stunner with the spit take.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. That's a classic throwback to a very famous stunner that he took with the spit way up in the air like a breaching whale. There's even a GIF of that, I think I saw it somewhere. This is great. This is exactly how you start the 25th anniversary of Raw. And they nailed this. And then they said, that's all we got. We got a couple matches, and some old guys will come out and do things, but
they came out and they're like orange pink blazer, but they didn't hit John Cena with a power slam. They're like, we ain't got nothing left in the tank. This opening segment, this is what we do. That's it. Sasha Banks, Mickie James, Asuka, and Bayley defeated Absolution, Nia Jax, and Alicia Fox. This starts off a mess, and we get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we get a nice burst of offense from Asuka. I thought Nia Jax hit a good spine buster. Alicia Fox had some good offense as well. Northern Light suplex, big boot. They were doing the how will they eliminate Nia Jax thing, but fortunately, Corey Graves spared the insult to my intelligence and said, hey, Playboys, doesn't always work like that. So I'm glad they addressed that.
Yeah.
The match breaks down right after a break, and like immediately Sasha gets the win. This happened a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Like the meat of so many matches was during the break, because this was essentially a 3-hour, 15-minute segment show.
Yeah.
The match breaks down. Sasha gets the win. This is coming off of her loss to Sonya Deville, so probably right that she gets the win. While celebrating, though, Asuka kicks the shit out of all the girls, knocks Mickie James to the outside, hits Bayley with one of the damnedest spinning back fists I've ever seen. It was beautiful all around. The sell was great. Then there was this really cool spot where Sasha went for the bank statement, but Asuka just held on the ropes and disposed of her. Now, as you mentioned, this might indicate to some people that Asuka isn't winning the Royal Rumble, but that necessarily hasn't been the case over the last couple of years. But I thought it was an awesome way to do the Royal Rumble that wasn't the everybody is in brawling type of thing that we'll probably get tomorrow night on SmackDown. Right.
We'll probably get that on SmackDown. This was fine. You know, I mean, I'm interested in seeing where the women's divisions both on this show and SmackDown go post Rumble, because there's a lot of upheaval. Like, you got to think they had a whole lot plan for Paige, and that's all gone now. So she might still be there, but she's not going to be anything in ring. And those two girls being the only in-ring talent in her faction, that hurts, you know?
You mentioned it earlier on Twitter, but like, man, I wish they wouldn't have let Emma go.
It's the perfect thing for her to still be here because she could easily be the in-ring leader, and then she and Paige could kind of run things outside of the ring together. It's perfect.
It's almost amazing how there are so many possibilities for Paige and her losing her bread and butter. Yeah. But I just think there are just so many possibilities there. Again, guys, my match ratings for this and every show happen the morning after these shows air. So go check those out on Fightful.com. Also, I forgot to mention, guys, I did an alternate commentary for the 1995 Royal Rumble match with the famed Nikita Krylov fan. Those of you on the Holy Smokes MMA podcast will remember him. That is over on FightfulPods.com. Go check that out. We have a lot more coming up for Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania season. Now let's get into the nostalgia of this show. Kurt Angle is backstage in a segment with Coach Teddy Long, who gets a great pop, Brooklyn Brawler, Harvey Whippleman, and then Brother Love, who I've put over his podcast several times on the show. Yeah. It's one of my favorite to listen to. Interviewed him last week. He got an amazing pop.
Yeah.
He is a real indication that you can leave WWE, be completely excommunicated, and then go out and like say whatever you want, and WWE will welcome you back if you're popular enough.
That's true. Yeah. This was fun. If they hadn't told me that was Harvey Whippleman, I would not have known who that was. But everybody else, that was fun. Great. And then the thing that popped me was Boogeyman coming back looking like 2007 Boogeyman. Like he hadn't gained a pound or lost a pound. Like he still looks jacked. And you know what? Even the
worms
thing,
bro.
I still don't know how that guy does that. Like those ain't gummy worms, son. Those are real damn worms in the mouth, out of the mouth. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I'm squeamish.
The APA are backstage. Lost my spot on my notes here. But Heath Slater and Rhino, and they're back there playing cards. Heath Slater loses all of his money. Heath Slater says, "Oh, you're taking all my money. I've got kids." And JBL says, "Well, now they got a broke dad." And then the perfect person to join this, Ted DiBiase, shows up.
Yep. And
I love when they bring him back because Ted DiBiase always, literally and figuratively, gets the last laugh.
Yes.
And it's just kind of apropos for his character. He always gets the last laugh. Later on, they're joined by the Usos, Jeff Hardy, MVP, Titus Worldwide, Natalya, New Day. Then they all catch Heath Slater cheating. And Ted DiBiase wins the game of poker. Because of course he would. Yeah, Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Also, the nostalgia picks up with Johnny Ace, William Regal, Eric Bischoff, a recurring theme here, Giant Pop. And then Johnny Ace's son-in-law, Daniel Bryan, comes out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm skipping around and handling all the nostalgia here, but I just wanted to say, hitting the Miz's music right here was a stroke of brilliance.
Yeah, it was.
It was genius. It really was.
Yeah. And their stare down. I mean, listen, everybody's like, let's not get carried away with the odds makers deciding that Daniel Bryan is a favorite in the Royal Rumble. That ain't happening. But
no,
if he's ever cleared to wrestle, that's the guy he needs to face. You have so much history there. This is a thing that needs to happen. So them continuing to tease it, even when Miz is on Raw and Bryan is on SmackDown, if that ever happens, it will have so much over such a long period of time. It'll be one of the greatest builds to a match in modern memory.
I thought they should have just made a WrestleMania moment out of it. Like, The Miz comes out and says, "I'm issuing an open challenge. I didn't get booked for WrestleMania. WTF, RFLMAO, all that crap."
Yep.
Then Daniel Bryan's music hits. There he comes out in his gear, puts him in a yes. What I would have done is they get in the ring. Daniel Bryan is face-to-face with him. Then The Miz turns around, kisses Maurice on the apron, gets put in the yes-lock and taps out. That way you can go back to the Daniel Bryan losing in 14 seconds situation from years ago. And that's it. Like, because, I mean, maybe he's not cleared. Yeah. But, I mean, he could put somebody in a goddamn yes-lock. That ain't taking a bump.
Right.
So, still wish they would do that and, you know, kind of call back to a lot of that stuff. Bella Twins, Maurice, Kelly, Lillian Garcia, Jacqueline, Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, Terry Runnels, Maria, and Trish Stratus are all brought out. Seeing the way that so many of these women looked made me remember when WWE cut women around the age of 30 back in the day.
Yeah.
Because some of these women looked younger than they did before.
Yeah.
But they all looked wonderful, and this was a cool moment. Backstage, we see Mark Henry encounter the Godfather. They bring up sexual chocolate. And Mark Henry meets the Godfather's wife.
Well, he mistook her for one of the Godfather's employees. And he said, no, this is my wife.
Alex.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not the Attitude Era anymore. It's a little different. So the Godfather's turned over a new leaf and found true love, and God bless him.
Hey. Backstage, one of my least favorite segments of the night. AJ Styles is back there and introduces Mean Gene Okerlund. And this really peaks at the, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Then they make AJ Styles do this shitty Cammy reference. That ain't getting over.
Nope,
Stop it. Stop writing stuff for AJ Styles because it sucks. This is like getting Naomi Feel the Glow in every promo level. Like when they write stuff for her, it's been so bad.
Yeah.
And when it's AJ, you can tell, much like people like that, like when Naomi does it on SmackDown, you can tell it's written for him.
Yeah, this would have been so great if they just let AJ do his admittedly pretty decent Hulk Hogan impression for like a minute and cut a promo on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as the Hulkster. That would have been fun. But his whole
better.
Cammy, I'm gonna tell you something about Cammy. Cammy's not great. And I don't like Cammy very much. I don't know what he said because as soon as he started calling him Cammy, I tuned out. It's stupid. It's stupid. It demeans him and the entire business. Stop it. Stop it.
It was lame. It was lame. In one of the most confusing promos. Zero clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan Center, Undertaker comes out and he runs down the list of people who couldn't end him. And this says it's time that they rest in peace. Needless to say, I'm going to refrain from writing any Undertaker retires articles. This was way too ambiguous. Like what do you think? Now, this is just speculation. This isn't us with any inside information on the situation because WWE plays this way too close to the vest. You've had people reporting the last several weeks, Undertaker and Cena. There's been zero indication either way that that's the case. No references on TV. The closest that we got was a possibly not clued in Jim Ross saying, is that a warning?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. I love that Taker came out. No hat, no gloves, no coat. Because he left that shit in Orlando.
And I didn't even notice that. That's brilliant.
He was wearing like his old ministry garb with the hood and everything. Like it felt very different. It's not the dead cowboy anymore. That guy's gone. It's a different Undertaker. Like it's something close to mystery. It's not the exact same thing, but it was closer to that than it was to what we saw him last. And when I saw him, I was like, what the hell is this? And then I remembered, oh yeah, he doesn't have those clothes anymore. Those are gone. He left those behind. And I think that's a really cool touch. What that means, I don't know. But as we'll talk about later, John Cena seems to be busy for a while. So, I don't know. Listen, this is my whole thing. Like, as much as I didn't like that that the way that it ended and who ended it, and then how they like, hey, this is my yard now, and that's it. Get used to it, smarks. And then they abandoned that whole part of Roman Reigns afterwards. as much as I didn't like any of that, you got to let the dead man die. He went out onto the ramp, raised his fist, and sunk into the ramp with like smoke billowing out of it. He's gone now. Like even this felt like it was. He should be done. Like
seeing he and Reigns struggle to hit that tombstone reversal spot, I was like,
no, he can't do it anymore.
Put one in Old Yeller and let him go, man.
Yeah,
it's time. It is just time. He can't be there every year. I mean, sure, maybe he can pop up and choke slam somebody for a 1-2-3 at some point, like maybe that, but I don't want to see it at this point. I'm ready. Me as a viewer and a fan of wrestling, I'm ready to just let it go. Now, not everybody is, and that's fine. Right. But
I don't want him to turn into like Roger Clemens, where he retires like 6 times.
Well, no. Let me tell you, Roger Clemens showed up in Lexington and pitched one time. So if Undertaker's doing that, if he's showing up at Rupp Arena in wrestling, then he can be Roger Clemens.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah, okay.
Good on Naomi and Jimmy Uso for getting that Universal Studios commercial money, by the way. Backstage, Charlie Caruso asked Alexa Bliss if she thinks she'll be champ at WrestleMania, and as you pointed out, well, yeah, she hasn't. It'll have been November, December, January. She hasn't defended her title.
Yeah. So if that continues, yeah, Charlie, I'm pretty sure I'll still be the champ because I'm not defending the title ever. So, okay.
There are a lot of people, by the way, chiming in and saying that Undertaker's in better shape now than at Mania. We don't know that. We've got Pritchard saying, well, he looked better. Well, he didn't look great for the last several years. Back to that segment. Charlotte interrupts and introduces Ric Flair, who cuts a little bit of a promo. Fair, fine.
What struck me about this is it did not appear so in their match they had at a Survivor Series. But in this little segment, it looked like Charlotte was, I'm going to say 4.5 feet taller than Alexa Bliss. I remember she was wearing some super high heels and Alexa Bliss was in her flats, but that was crazy to me how much taller Charlotte was. I also didn't get this whole segment to me. Like, they had a match at Survivor Series and Charlotte won, and that's fine. But it's not like, as we said, they can't have a match against each other until next Survivor Series because that's the one night a year when Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head in competition. So this felt like a promo that was just there to put over the Flairs at the expense of Alexa Bliss.
They really accentuated that height difference too, didn't they?
They really did. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the night, Chris Jericho shows up literally wearing a Bullet Club spinoff shirt on WWE TV. Now, before I get all the clever comments, the Balor Club is the Bullet Club spinoff. Yeah, no shit. You know what I'm talking about. This guy can do anything he wants. Anything he wants.
Somehow, he is literally bulletproof.
Yeah, and they put him over on WWE TV. He sang a song to Elias and put him on the list, which just the place exploded, man.
Yeah.
It exploded.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And Chris Jericho's probably going to go back and work Long Beach for New Japan.
Why not?
I mean, this guy, like, what he is able to do.
Yeah.
Just the balls on him to be able to do it
is
impressive. Because, I mean, he's working with Ring of Honor later this year on his cruise, which who thinks to do a cruise? Chris Jericho does, of course. That was really great. The crowd ate it up. The crowd loved it. They were ready. He knew when to do it, just when to say it, just when to put somebody on the list. And it was impressive. I don't want to say impressive. He always knows, but he can just seamlessly transition into so many different things that he does. Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz defeated Roman Reigns to become the WWE Intercontinental Champion for the 8th time. As I've mentioned, those WWE ring posts sound hellacious when they're hit. We see literally 13 straight clotheslines out of Reigns at one point, and not one of them looked good. But Miz's corner clothesline a couple minutes later looks a lot better. Reigns did, however, have a very nice counter out of the yes kicks into that sit-down powerbomb. And I like that he raised his hand, and when he did, Booker T was like, that may have cost him.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing that might have cost him. The Miz Taraj get drive-by'd and then later ejected. But while they're doing this, I thought this was such a smart finish. They had Miz untying the turnbuckle, the second turnbuckle on the lower left side of the ring. Roman Reigns is distracted. Skull-crushing finale had hit, but it only got 2. He runs Reigns into that exposed steel. Another skull-crushing finale. The Miz wins. I consider him the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. There's some debate. Some have said Honky Tonk Man. I think that's all gimmick. I don't think he ever was. In my opinion, only Randy Savage and Chris Jericho have the potential argument. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think of the match, and where do you rank Miz on that list?
Match was fine until the end when it became great. Because like when you have the Miz like set a booby trap in the corner that he didn't even think he might need to use. Because the first thing he does is skull crush finale the dude without it. And he gets a 2.5 count. I mean, had he pinned him right there, the booby trap wasn't even necessary. But he was thinking 2 steps ahead. And then he sets him up for it, throws him into it, hits him again, gets the 1, 2, 3. That's why he's one of the greatest heels in the history of the business. Because he's not only is he a chicken shit heel, but he's smart. Like, you can be a coward, but if you're a stupid coward, who cares? It's when you're smart, and you can use that cowardice to get around certain things and figure out how to set up your guy because he thinks that you're weak and you can outsmart him in that moment. I mean, it's great. It's absolutely great. I'm really happy he's got the belt now. I want him to get as far away from Roman as possible. I think Roman is going to get as far away from the Intercontinental title as possible, probably in the next couple of months. But I'm willing to say, hey, he can feud with Finn Balor. He can feud with anybody on the roster. There's a lot of people to choose from, and whoever that is going to get a bump. Is going to get a bump from. Oh no, yeah. Miz is going to get a bump from all of Miz's promo work.
Miz made me care about Dolph Ziggler last year or 2016.
That was one of the best feuds I've ever seen, and it was almost all because of Miz and then Ziggler stepping his game up to match it. The in-ring work between those two guys was great, but all the promo work was fire.
There's 2 guys, or one in Ziggler, but I mean, about a year before that, I didn't give a damn. 6 months before that, I didn't give a damn about Miz. They raised the profile of the championship, and their matches made it seem like they really, really cared about the titles. That's what I love about the Rollins-Jordan tag team title reign, which I'll get into. Rollins doesn't really like Jason Jordan, but he really likes being a champion.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's important, and I can't say enough about that. So, the Peep Show is up next, and very minimal amount of Christian here, but I'm glad to see him. I love Christian. I think he is one of the most underrated workers ever. Speaking of Jason Jordan, he interrupts Christian, and boy, did Jordan have heat.
Yeah.
Some great heat, and he was perfect. All of this was constructed really, really well. The Bar came out, and they got a babyface reaction and acted like babyfaces. But so did Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins was also a babyface here.
Yeah.
So everybody who needed to act like a babyface in this segment acted like a babyface.
Yeah.
The Bar came out to a big reaction and said that Angle doesn't suck. Jason Jordan sucks. And they kind of picked on him about it. Like, Jordan gets really mad. They whip the Bar's ass. But then Seth Rollins accidentally knees Jason Jordan in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is all cool, and I like how much nuance and stuff. And then the part of me goes, can we not have the tag team titles be held by people who get along? Like, it's just this whole thing of there's always like, how will they ever coexist? And it's just like that's the standard now. It's not the exception. And I want Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins to hold the titles long enough and get along long enough and be baby faces, both of them, long enough so that when my predicted call-up after the Rumble, Authors of Pain, comes up, they can have an Authors of Pain versus Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins feud that will make me quiver.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if the Authors of Pain didn't. Well, I'll say this. I'd be shocked to see War Machine, Authors of Pain, Heavy Machinery, and Sanity all on the NXT roster at the same time.
Right. Authors of Pain is ready to come up and just wreck stuff. And who better to get them through that than Jordan and Rollins? And there's a really cool storyline thing they could work with, where Jordan could say, basically, hey, these dudes ran me and Gable out of NXT. Seth, they're nothing to mess with. These guys are stronger than you've ever seen. Like, that could be a lot of fun. And Rollins can like pay no mind to it and get jumped in the back. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Authors of Pain versus Jordan and Rollins. I'm hoping that's where we wind up after the Rumble.
Guys, I want to thank you all. This is our most watched live post-Raw show that we've ever done. So thank you all for that. We'll go ahead and make our prediction, since this is really one of the – well, we'll go ahead and make the prediction here. Rollins and Jordan or the Bar Sunday at Royal Rumble?
Rollins and Jordan, just because I feel like there's more that you can do there. You can before tonight, I was saying I was thinking you might be able to build the Revival up enough to give them a challenge.
We'll talk about that later.
Not now, but no, I think Authors of Pain versus Jordan and Rollins is the direction for February and March.
Women's Royal Rumble match. Who do you have winning that? Also, I think Rollins and Jordan as well. I think that Jordan is going to be over enough by WrestleMania to do a one-on-one match with Rollins, and it's going to be really good. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I know what you said. As far as like recently, it's different. But before tonight, I would have said Asuka. Mm-hmm. After tonight, I don't know. But I couldn't tell you who else, because I don't know.
I don't know at all. Like, I have no clues winning this women's Royal Rumble.
I don't think it's going to be Nia Jax. I would love it if either Sasha or Bayley won it by eliminating the other final. I would love that, because it would give them a reason to get out and do something on their own. I think that'd be great.
Here's an even bigger question, in my opinion. Who will the Iron Woman be? I mean, Here's the thing. If Charlotte was in there, I would say her, because you could play off of the Ric Flair 60-minute deal. Otherwise, like, in my opinion, it would probably be Sasha or Bayley. Yep. Or if they really want to put somebody over, I think that's a good way to get somebody over that isn't already over.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying push Liv Morgan, but if you could have a Liv Morgan or a Carmella or somebody be crafty enough to last that long.
There's only one answer to this question as far as what it should be, and it's Becky Lynch.
I would love it to be Becky Lynch.
Should be the Iron Woman. She should come in at like 2 or 3 and stay until the final 4.
Well, I think Becky Lynch should be the Sting of the women's division too, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
I think that she is super babyface and could be a lot of fun, but they got to let her be more of her.
Right.
What's up next? Bray Wyatt in the Manhattan Center defeated Woken Matt Hardy, who was limping. Manhattan Center chanting, "We got something." They were not happy, and reasonably so. They essentially paid for $1,000 glow sticks in some cases.
Yeah.
Pretty cool achievement for Matt Hardy. He has competed in the Manhattan Center or the Hammerstein Ballroom for ROH, TNA, and WWE. Very cool to see in-ring action at this venue again. I thought it looked really cool.
Yes.
He controlled the duration of this match. Then out of nowhere, Sister Abigail, that's it.
Yeah. This was a weird place to let them have their first real match, to have Bray win clean. They're not going to have a match at the Rumble. They might have a match at the next Raw pay-per-view before WrestleMania. But the main thing was that you're right. It was really cool to see in-ring action at the Manhattan Center. And this was it. And then a ridiculous short tag team match that we got to see on TV. The Manhattan Center crowd has a class action lawsuit on their hands.
Oh, yeah.
How can you expect your audience to be happy paying that much for seats to the place where you would reasonably think that this is where all the top super fans would go for the nostalgia thing of getting to see all these guys coming there live at the Manhattan Center, not on a big screen over on the wall, watching them from across town. I mean, the Taker thing, you could tell at that point They were like, great, we've been sitting here for an hour, but it's worth it. Here's Taker. And then after that, nothing and nothing.
They got about I think 5 minutes of televised wrestling time there.
Yeah, it was.
They got like Mustafa Ali and Lindsay Dorado. But
they got cruiserweights going to no contests over and over and over again during commercial breaks, and they were shitting all over it. And like, this is just not the way to do that. I don't know what WWE was thinking was going to happen, but somebody posted this, and I thought it was kind of funny. Like, maybe that WWE thought, let's get all the fans who like hijack the show and put them in the place where we're not going to televise the show.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
I did think that was kind of funny.
That's kind of funny, but I don't
Friend of the site, Demon Diva, like, I assumed she would go to Manhattan Center. She went to Barclays, and she posted on there. She's like, yeah, everybody told me I was dumb for not going to Manhattan Center. How do you feel now?
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, man, that's rough. I feel bad because I love that venue, and I think it was very cool. This match was there. I didn't even give it a rating. It was Matt Hardy controlling it for 2 minutes, and then Sister Abigail pin. Then we got Elias coming out doing his great Elias thing. He gets a stupid idiot chant, targets Jimmy Fallon, sings a song about WWE legends, and it brings out John Cena. John Cena, who puts over the goddamn beach balls again. What is the deal? Like, what is his fascination with putting these goddamn beach balls over?
He thinks it makes him cool, Dad. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that guy you think I am. I'm not this corporate shill. See, I like you guys. You guys, what are we doing today, kids?
That's
How's
dope.
Oh, you guys, that's dilly dilly. Like, what the hell is this?
All right, the dilly dilly line later was pretty good.
That was actually good. But
John Cena's out there like, man, it's tight. Tight, man. Shut up with the goddamn beach balls.
He thinks it makes him cool, Dad, to put over what the kids are doing.
Man. You know, not to trash virgins, but you have to be like WWE branded super virgin to bring a beach ball to a wrestling show. Yeah. What kind of idiot?
Yeah.
That swings by the Dollar General in January.
In January.
Got any beach balls?
No, they don't. Which means you bought that shit in summer and kept it.
Lame. Cena ends up attacking Elias. And I want to say Cena looked very light on his feet. Like, I haven't seen him with that kind of hopping and step in a while. And then he gets punched right in the penis.
Yeah. Yeah. This was fun. I particularly loved Elias doing some great heel work of like knowing that he's over with the crowd and getting them eating out of the palm of his hand just to crap all over them. Like, what are you doing here? You shut up. Those people came here to see me. They came here to walk with Elias. Crowd goes nuts. You know, I don't listen to these scumbags. That's great. It's great. You know, that's what he's doing. I love it.
Elias cracked Cena with the guitar and then drift away, which Cena took very, very well, I thought.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know, if he's at least putting over beach balls, at least he put over Elias here. Does Elias eliminate John Cena from the Royal Rumble or vice versa?
Well, it depends on where they're headed. Like, I don't know if
you can make eliminating John Cena from a Royal Rumble something people bring up in a promo all the time.
Yeah, sure. I just don't know what their plans are. Like, I don't know if Cena's going to be around to work matches with Elias. Like, if they're planning on something beyond this, is he filming another movie? Is he going off to do another season?
He's going to be around for a while after Mania, from what I understand.
So that's good. But it's we'll figure it out. But they're going to have some kind of interaction in the Rumble. One of them eliminates the other. It'll probably be Cena eliminating Elias, and then doing his "you can't see me" thing, and then he walks right into an elimination by somebody else. And then they call it back.
I'm trying to remember the last time John Cena was in a Royal Rumble.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because I don't think it's not been in like the last 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. It's been a while. So I think it was the one he won in 2013.
Wow.
So, like, at that point, you got to wonder who's the last person to eliminate John Cena from a Royal Rumble. Because, I mean, God, if it's been like 2009, 2010, since the guy's been tossed out of a Royal Rumble, then you can, yeah, it was The Miz in 2011. I just looked at it. Wow. Good guy. And, I mean, where'd that go?
Yeah.
The Miz ended up working the guy at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do far worse than eliminating John Cena from a Royal Rumble. I mean, it can really help a guy. Titus Worldwide with Dana Brooke versus Heath Slater and Rhino. The Manhattan Center couldn't even get this. And when you see what happens later, it pissed me off even more. Not much to talk about the match. It was all during the commercial, pretty much.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews has a nice drop kick, and that stalling suplex. He and Heath worked that so great. Heath did the like swaying legs deal. That was so cool.
It was great. Apollo Crews is super talented in the ring. Just got to figure out what to do with him.
Match is thrown out. Dudley Boyz come out. I cannot believe they didn't give the Dudley Boyz to Manhattan Center.
I know.
My God.
Something was saying that like apparently the Peeps segment was supposed to be at the Manhattan Center, and they moved it to Barclays during the afternoon. I don't know, but they got nothing, man. They got nothing. The Dudley Boyz are an act made for the Manhattan Center.
They've worked at the Manhattan Center, at least the Hammerstein, so many times.
I know.
Why don't you give it to them? Why? ECW One Night Stand was at the Hammerstein Ballroom in the Manhattan Center. Jesus Christ, you guys. Come on. Slater eats a 3D through a table. I loved the dilly dilly line. When they go up to the top rope and Devon does the what's up headbutt. Now, there are going to be people who are watching this show that go, what do you mean? What's the connection? Because it's so old. It's 20 years. It's 18 years old. There was a Budweiser commercial where people said, what's that?
It was
great.
I think
Michael Cole.
Yeah. It was 20 years. I think it was the Super Bowl 1998 or something like that. Like it was
99, 2000. Yeah, I think.
There you go. Like it was a long ass time. There are people, I guarantee you, there are people listening to us speak right now who were not born when that thing was a giant catchphrase. So the fact that it still remains the WhatsApp headbutt today. Like,
it won't be now. They'll change it. I bet you they'll change it.
But kids, go on the YouTubes and just go search the YouTubes for WhatsApp Bud Light commercial.
I mean, it changed the way that I greeted people on AOL Instant Messenger, for the love of God.
You will be amazed at what we thought was really cool 20 years ago. Because we thought it was cool.
As we played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on a demo disc.
Demo discs. Yeah.
I'm so old. Somebody called me a great young journalist today, and I said, oh, man. Woo. The rest of the guys get in and celebrate with the Dudley Boyz. What? That was cool, I guess. Like you did Rhino to the Manhattan Center.
Rhino basically turned on Heath. I know they were like selling it as like he's trying to toughen him up. But like literally, like this is the thing. Heath Slater loses all of his money in a poker game, and everyone's making fun of him. Like he's gonna get his above ground pool repoed.
Yeah.
Like he's got kids to feed. It's right there in his song. I'm pretty sure.
Oh man.
That was Titantron.
Up next, we get the DX reunion. Shawn Michaels isn't allowed to tell any stories. Triple H gives a big rah-rah speech about how DX will be at the forefront for the next 25 years. But then, I mean, kind of makes sense of that in a little bit. But I love that he mentioned Rick Rude and Chyna. There was a lot of praise for him mentioning Chyna. Were you surprised that he did?
No. I mean, I don't know. This whole thing was just weird because it felt very much like, listen, DX was too old when they were young to be doing the stuff they were doing. They were like 17-year-old kids, basically. They were acting like kids. And that's why we loved them, because we were all kids. We're like, man, I can't wait till I get to be 33. Then I could do all the same stuff that I love doing right now. And, you know, it was just a weird deal. So I was watching this going, so they really did pay all that money for glow sticks, didn't they? Like, it was kind of weird. This whole thing was very surreal. I did love the Shawn Michaels saying, "Didn't I used to be the boss of this faction? And now you're the boss of everything?" I hate this. I thought that was funny. That popped me.
So they bring out the New Age Outlaws.
Sure.
Road Dogg can't say ass.
Nope.
Billy wearing his smoking gun jeans, it looked like. That was kind of funny. They also bring out Sean Waltman, who brings out Razor Ramon. Also, there was a great 1, 2, 3 kid chant. That was really cool, especially there.
Yeah.
Especially there.
You could see that Sean was getting a little emotional there. Like, that was kind of cool. Alex,
tell me who he brought out next.
He brought out Razor Ramon.
This show is brought to you by TrigTent.com. The best in politics. Visit TrigTent.com if you would like to keep up with the world of politics, run by our own Nigel. Yeah, that's what happened to Razor Ramon tonight. His music hit,
yep.
And in the middle, after, well, probably Kevin Dunn got one look at that ugly-ass jacket he was wearing and said, "Cut to commercial. Get him off of there." He was wearing like his old TNA era Elvis Wolfpack jacket. It does look ugly as hell.
Yeah, it does.
But that was super weird. Super weird. After the break, Balor Club came out. Hit a 2 sweet there. It was passed down. I liked that.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool.
That was very cool. It was.
What do you say, Alex? Do you say nay or do you say yeah?
Listen, I thought at this point that they had just run out of time and we weren't going to see the thing that I was worried about seeing for a week.
Oh, Alex, they did run out of time, but they fit that shit in.
Yeah, they did.
They were running out of time way earlier. Here's the bummer. Everything they ran out of time on got cut from the Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say that. The last segment got cut too, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Revival come out. Their new Monday Night Revival shirt kicks ass.
It does.
Looks very cool. And I was like, you know what? I'm very happy this is a match instead of a Revival ass-kicking fiesta. It was 10:58 p.m. Eastern. Oh, we got both. They were rushing through this match. They were getting it in. Magic Killer pin. And you know what? Immediately I was like, you know what? I can't shit on them too much for that because they ran out of time. At least it was a tag match. It's a team that you're pushing right now. But then the Revival eat all the finishers. And they didn't even get a Razor's Edge.
No.
Out of all those.
Yeah. Earlier in the week, Kevin Nash said he was really sorry he couldn't be there. Nobody was happier about the fact that he couldn't be there than Scott Dawson, who didn't have to get jackknifed because that would have been something else they would have had to get eaten. Listen, I thought to myself, oh, hey, cool. Hey, you know what you could have? What would be really great is a babyface Gallows and Anderson versus the Revival little mini feud on the middle of the second hour of Raw for a month. I'd watch that. They could have some cool matches. Oh no, they're just gonna have a 2-minute match where Gallows and Anderson just beats them quick. And then I was like, okay, well at least they didn't get their finishers delivered to them by all the guys from the 90s. Oh no, wait, they actually got both of those things. They got squashed in a match, and then they got finishers delivered to them over and over and over and over again. And I just feel so bad for these guys because they're so much better than, all due respect, Heath Slater. Then all due respect, the Ascension. These guys are great, and they don't have a. It makes I want them to continue to be great.
I'll say this: you can do a lot worse than if you're going to get your ass kicked. You get your ass kicked by like 10 guys.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Scott Hall, the Balor Club. So you got 9 guys out there kicking their ass. So.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, a lot of people are saying, like, making, like, jobber jokes and stuff. And I'm like, it's 9 guys. And, like, literally 4 or 5 of them were top guys. So
Right. And that's totally fine if it's a shoot fight. But they said, we need 2 guys to come out and get their asses kicked by 9 guys. We choose you. Go out there and do it. The reason they chose them is that's what I'm worried about.
That they don't. An awesome way to right this wrong would be to have them make this their TV program. Have them beat New Age Outlaws and the Dudley Boyz.
Yeah.
In coming weeks, like make a deal out of it. Make that their TV program until you can find something for them to do. It's not that hard to pull off.
Yeah.
So, a couple more matches I want to get your picks on before we talk about the main event segment. Styles versus Owens and Sami Zayn championship match. Who do you got Sunday?
I hope it's Owens and Sami, not just for the fact that they're right, that they're absolutely right about everything that they're saying, but also because it makes for more fun television. Like they get to like do rock, paper, scissors to see which of them has the title match that night. They could do a lot of fun stuff as opposed to just like, I'll just keep it on AJ for a while longer.
What are you all doing in Milwaukee? I know you all just fired Jason Kidd, but if rock, paper, scissors is as fun as it gets.
Well, listen, you know that Owens and Zayn could make that into a 4-star segment.
Of course they could, of course.
And that's why I'm
busting
interested
your balls.
It's true.
Usos versus Gable and Benjamin. Now, Uso get arrested. Does that play a role?
I don't know, but I think Gable and Benjamin should win.
I do too.
I mean, I think the Usos are great, but they've had the belts basically off and on for like a year. Like they're
that good in my opinion. They are that good.
They are that good. But it's time to give somebody else a run with them. I'm not saying they can't get them back in a couple of months, but I want to see what Gable and Benjamin can. Gable and Benjamin get over more than Gable and Jordan did when they had the belts.
Sure. And the Usos are really good at, like, from a storyline perspective, you're like, do I want to see that rematch? Then when it happens, it's unbelievable off the charts. Their match with New Day at Hell in a Cell was my WWE match of the year. Like, I had that above Bait and Dunn, and that's not easy.
Yeah. I wanted to point out that Gable was on Twitter tonight using continuity as his best friend when he mentioned that The Miz was shown on TV replay to have cheated to win the match versus Reigns, and yet nobody came out and restarted the match again like they did when Gable and Benjamin won the tag titles in SmackDown a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was great to have your guys use that continuity as their friend and like get it over. Like it's smart. I like that.
By the way, I'm picking Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble. Who do you have?
Yeah, probably him. I mean, the only way I could see this happening is if they decided to call an audible smartly, and either put the title on Braun on Sunday, or to do it at Mania.
Well, I mean, honestly, if they put the title on Braun, I kind of still do want to see Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. No matter how many times I've seen that match, I think is a WrestleMania caliber match. I just think they can do it.
I think that you're right about that. I think there's a very, very good chance that Roman will win. But my sleeper pick is whoever among Brock or Braun does not win their championship match will enter at like 27, clear out 9 guys, and go on to win. Like I feel like that's a cool way of doing it, just because they'd be so angry that they lost the match, especially Braun. Like Braun decides if Brock pins Kane, Braun doesn't like it. Braun says, "I'm in the match," and it was like, "Who are you going to tell him no?" So I think that could work.
Main event segment. Commercial break hits at 11:04. It's worth noting my wife was really hoping that DX would pull Frank the Clown across the barrier and beat him up. It's like she's never heard me mention his name. Like I don't say negative stuff about him. She just sees him on TV and she's like, "Can they beat him up?" Okay. Kurt Angle has everybody brought out to prevent a war. Doesn't help.
It's a good thing he brought everybody, because they totally got in the way. Oh wait, no.
Now, speaking of continuity, here's my question: why aren't all those people kicking the shit out of New Day, based on what happened a few months ago?
Right? No, absolutely. Because brand supremacy is the most important thing. The loyalty to your brand.
Well, I don't know. Bragging rights are also
Yes.
Very important.
Very important. Those things are very, very important. The most important things. But hey, you know what's the problem is that it's not Survivor Series season. So as we all know, that's the only season in which WrestleMania. Well, I mean, wrestlers. I'm sorry. I'm done with that. I'm done with that gag.
Brock Lesnar comes in, F5's Kane, gets tossed into the barricade by Braun Strowman real hard.
That barricade moved a foot and a half. Like it just imploded under the weight of Brock being tossed that hard by Braun. God, I just want Braun to have all of the things. Give him all of the things, Sean. He's so great.
Strowman power slams Brock Lesnar through a table, but I could barely see it because the cameraman apparently went into epilepsy during this. I am so sick. I will never stop mentioning it. I hate WWE's production. It really, really hit me when they were doing it in the Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I remember when it wasn't this bad.
Yeah.
From this. Oh, wow. I have people asking questions. Who do I think debuts at the Rumble? I don't know about the Rumble, but I feel like Rumble weekend could be full of trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble. Yeah. Trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble.
The end of the Raw after Rumble, I think, is going to have a lot of formal debuts. But I also feel like we're going to have at least one NXT woman come up at the Royal Rumble, like and stay there permanently. I just don't know who that's going to be.
Well, I know one thing. Given the direction of the NXT women's title scene, there was no reason for the Iconic Duo to not get called up in place of the Riot Squad on SmackDown. That should have been Billie Kay and Peyton Royce instead of carbon copy of what you got on Raw, just not as good. Because I mean, like, if you're ranking those five call-ups, Raw got 1 and 2, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah, I think that Ruby Riott is really being done a disservice by the booking and the writing on SmackDown. I think she's outstanding in the ring, and she's fine on the mic. They're just having her say stupid stuff, and then the booking is terrible. I mean, and she's running around with these two women who could not possibly. Why are they your friends? Like this, none of that makes any sense. I agree with you. It should have been Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in that spot, though.
Royal Rumble Universal Championship match. Who you got? Dead air, Alex.
I don't know, man. You go first.
We're live, pal.
You go first.
Brock Lesnar. You know I want Braun Strowman to win. I think he is the Brock Lesnar replacement they have looked for.
It doesn't matter because it's not like I have money riding on this. I'm going to say Braun because Braun should win. He deserves to win. It's a better story if he does. Braun should win. I'll tell you who's not going to be though. Kane. Why is he even in this match except for to take the pin? Like I saw a poll on Twitter that had a picture of Braun, Brock, and Kane. It was sent out by WWE, and they said, hit this button to tweet for Braun, hit this button to tweet for Brock. There was no button to hit to tweet for Kane.
Wow.
like you messed up. I guess
now, to be fair,
2 options.
Kane has been around for, with all of his characters, 22 of these 25 Raw years. Yeah. The disrespect. Yeah. Hey, guys, by the way, if you like this show, it's your first time watching, we do post-SmackDown, we do post-pay-per-view. Wednesdays is a lot of fun. It's the List and your boy, the guy who started the site, owns the site, Jimmy Van, affectionately known as the eccentric millionaire, and myself. That's the guy who owns a wrestling website and the guy he picked to run it. We talk for about 90 minutes every week. We address the dumbest people of the week segment. We have guests on all the time. It is a must listen. It's our most popular show. Definitely check it out. And also, Alex helps me out on occasion. We do Fightful alternate commentary. Now, let me address a qualm with this. Some people are like, well, we thought you were going to call the action. And I'm like, and I had a person say, well, that's not alternate commentary. And I'm like, is it the original commentary? Because if not, it is alternate commentary.
Yeah.
You all sync up the show with us. Watch it. It's a lot of fun. We have 2 up for the Royal Rumble over on FightfulPods.com. So check that out. We have the 2005 and the 1995 Royal Rumble matches. We have 2 coming up for Elimination Chamber, and we will be working on 2 for WrestleMania as well. Myself and Anna Bauer will be doing those. So check those out. We have a ton of fun stuff over at Fightful.com. And we look to bring you wrestling journalism, MMA journalism, boxing journalism, respectfully, but you can get everything else there as well. We take all the news, bring it to you, but we don't put all the little stuff in individual articles. We put those in fight size updates at the beginning and end of the day. That way you're not clicking on a million different things to watch a video clip or 2. So we like to approach things a little bit differently, and I think you guys would really like it. Please make it your daily wrestling destination, FightfulWrestling.com, and you can go to Fightful.com to get all of those MMA, pro wrestling, and boxing. Very easy to sort through. We have a lot of fun stuff over there that you'll only find there. Alex, what is your lasting memory of Raw 25? Like if 5-6 years down the line, somebody says, Raw 25, tell me, what will be the first thing that comes to your mind? Whether it's a description, a segment, a match, what be it?
I'm going to say, hey, you know those guys who the greatest tag team in the world over in Ring of Honor and New Japan? They used to be in WWE, and then they were drummed out of there by a bunch of guys who were in their 50s. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be that, but it won't be. It'll be that opening segment where Stone Cold Steve Austin came back and stunnered the McMahon boys.
I mean, to be fair, Ring of Honor could have had Scott Dawson.
Right.
They just, he did team there once with Zack Sabre Jr. of all people.
Yeah.
So there you go. I will immediately think of the Stone Cold Steve Austin segment.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was executed perfectly. Executed perfectly. Guys, I want to thank you all so much. Follow us. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Fightful Online. We also have individual Twitters for MMA at Fightful MMA and wrestling at Fightful Wrestle. And follow me at Sean Rodstaff. Follow Alex at Pawlowski the Fourth. Again, visit Fightful.com. I want to thank you guys so much for joining in, for chiming in, for taking part in our live chat, our super chat, all that good stuff. Your support is crucial. We are a very, very young wrestling website. We debuted in the summer of 2016, and visiting wrestling websites is very much a habitual thing. There are people who still visit websites that I didn't know still existed. So for you all to break that habit and go visit something new, that I can't tell you how much I appreciate, and we hope that we're making it worth your while. I think we are. But I just wanted to thank you all again. This weekend is going to be a big one. We have an NXT TakeOver Philadelphia post-show Saturday night. We have a Royal Rumble post-show Sunday night. I will also be talking a little bit about the main matches for New Japan and Sapporo on those as well, because I wanted to give that coverage. But thank you guys so much. It means so much. Until next time, we are out.